Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's been a long time. Exactly a year or so before, I had put a post in my YouTube saying that I would be taking break from the YouTube channel because I wanted to become either a game developer or a game designer, and I wanted to pursue on that dream specifically, and I didn't want any other distractions on the way. And because of that, I had to quit YouTube at the time, and at the time I was making gaming contents and other contents such as putting anime videos, whichever I like, whichever I edit. And currently I'd like to say that I've achieved it. I achieved it in the sense currently I'm a junior game designer working at Battleworks, and I'm just making this video so that throughout this entire year it's been a journey for me, experiencing how what I should be doing to become a game designer or a developer, and I have did so many projects regarding it, and there were so many hurdle, if you want to say it, and I'm making this video so that people who are watching this, and if they are trying to pursue game development or game designing in the same way as me, they can take my experience and maybe it will be helpful to them to achieve their dream even faster. Even when I had the channel, even at that time I used to make the content as well, and at that time I used to work on Unreal Engine 5. Yeah, so in Unreal Engine 5 I used to work using the Blueprints coding language, and I also had an idea of C++ coding language. But the thing is, I was so confident with Blueprints, I never felt the need to use C++ in Unreal Engine 5, if that makes sense. And also there were other motivational factors such as, if you guys know Choo Choo Charles game, it's like a horror game based on train theme, and that entire game was made using Blueprints. And I can give the link to that video which I've seen the interview of. You guys can see that as well. And also before that I used to work in Unity as well using C#, obviously Unreal Engine 5, and I looked at other engines such as Godot, but I didn't feel really comfortable with it. The first thing I would like to say is that you guys have to decide on the software which you're going to use. So if you're stuck with becoming a game developer, you have to either choose Unity, Unreal Engine 5, Godot, and there are many other engines, like for example for Roblox games they use a language called as Lua, and other engines you guys can search it out, or I'll leave the icons here, you guys can look at it. And other than that, I fixated myself on Unreal Engine 5 because I was most comfortable with it. But what I would say you guys is, if you guys choose a specific engine, all the ones which I mentioned, make sure you are choosing that engine with the coding language which you are most comfortable with, and also with the factor that there are enough jobs available in the market for that specific engine. So the issue with me was that most of the Indian companies, I'm an Indian, yeah, most of the Indian companies, they hire game developers who work in Unity. And since I had experience in Unreal Engine 5, that wasn't there weren't many opportunities for me to showcase my development skills. So what I did was, at the same time, I was working on a mobile game, and before working on those mobile games, I had worked on a FPS shooting game. I had participated in a few gameathons. I had worked on two other indie small games. One was a small 3D horror game, and another was a 2D rage game. So what I was trying to do was, I was trying to make my ideas vast, portfolio vast basically. So I would suggest you guys to do that as well. So because the bigger your portfolio, the more you can explain to the interviewer, and the more they'll be impressed. So seeing that, okay, we have worked on these many projects, and we have these many in line coming in the future, or these are the in progress works, and they'll be impressed. And also apart from that, I would say don't keep any unfinished projects. Unfinished projects as in the sense, if you start a project, let's say you want to create a small game, and you've started to create a small game, but you got an idea for another game. Don't just leave this idea here and to pursue the new idea. Try to finish this first. People love to see finished products, not half-baked goods. So complete the entire project so that you can add it to your portfolio and add it to your resume. That will be really helpful, so I would suggest that. And apart from that, in my case, I wasn't fixated on going either game developer route or designer route, right? Whichever games I developed, for those games I used to create GDDs. If you don't know what GDDs is, GDD is basically game design document. It mentions all the features of your game, all the gameplay mechanics, the core loop, the art style which I've chosen, everything. So alongside this, I was doing the GDDs as well, and also I used to work in Excel sheets, because in Unreal Engine 5, if you, for example, for the FPS game which I was working on, you have to give data for the gun attributes using the Excel sheet, and from the Excel sheet I used to give the attributes to the Unreal Engine 5 directly. So like if you want to go through the game designer route, you have to be proficient in like Excel, making GDD using Google Documents, and then one more main thing is Figma or Photoshop. Out of these two, perfect either one of these, it will be really helpful. Most of the people who are looking for game designers will be looking for people who can like work in Figma or Photoshop, and it will be extra benefit to them as well if you have more skills. So that's extra usage. And apart from that, if you want to specifically go to game developer route, you can less focus on these things which I mentioned, Figma and the other stuff, but instead you can focus more on the engine itself. Again, inside the game development part, there are different ways you can go through. You can either become a level designer, you can become the main coder, basically main game developer, and again inside that you have categories such as mobile game development, PC game development, Xbox, etc. The list goes on and on. What I would say is just fixate on one thing, as I said before, and also make sure that the job opportunities is available. Even before you start job hunting, make sure that those jobs are available in the market. Sorry if that background noises, my family is right there. What from my experience else I would say is that, like, I had created all these games, right, and I had put it in itch.io. I can leave the link to those games in the description, you can check them out as well. These games, even though I made it and published it, I didn't market it, so there weren't enough people playing my game. So one more thing I would say is that before you publish the game, make sure that you have enough number of friends, enough number of like family members, maybe even that works. You need the total number of players who have played your game to increase, so that whenever you can put that in your resume as well, that is an extra achievement which you can do. Then apart from that, as I was saying, like in my experience, I was trying to open up to many areas, right, like game development, game designing. So I was trying to focus on everything, working in coding in Unreal Engine 5, then designing in Figma and Google Document, and apart from that I was even working on like accomplishing myself in Blender. So in Blender I was trying to make really good 3D models and trying to texture everything, UV unwrapping, etc. So one thing I would say you guys is, don't do what I did, because like if you go through coding route, inside the coding route itself you have to spend a lot of time to perfect yourself, perfect the coding, perfect the use of LODs, maybe like there are really small concepts within it, so you have to perfect it. But if you try to manage everything, the designing, modeling, texturing, coding, like you will be jack of all trades but master of none. So don't do that. Try to focus on few things and make it successful. And apart from that, and once you have your portfolio, make sure your portfolio itself looks professional. You can't make it like just for the sake of making it. You have to make it professionally look much better. And also if you have, just like me, if you are trying to focus on multiple things at the same time, instead of creating multiple different portfolios, like this is the design portfolio, development portfolio, then modeling portfolio, you can try to add everything into one portfolio. What this does is, you'll get one link, right, one portfolio link, and you can send it to the interviewer, and it will be much easier to them to take the data from you, like how you are working, how you are accomplishing things, etc. So try to make one portfolio instead of multiple. Another thing I would say is that, like, job hunting is a really it might get sad sometimes, because based on the current job market, you won't get like game designing jobs or development jobs, or not even these jobs, any kind of jobs is much easily. So don't be like, instead of being down, instead of being depressed, try to submit as many job applications as you can with the portfolio which you have made. And while you're doing that as well, you can work on your own projects. That will be really helpful. And one more thing is, like, there are institutions like which will be helping with game designing and game development, but personally I haven't gone to such an institution. I did BTech in Meenakshi Institute of Technology in Bangalore, and it's not a specific course for game development or game designing, but the one thing which was beneficial to me was they were teaching coding there, and few of the coding languages which I learned were C++ and C#. And out of those two, C++ was really helpful to get into Unreal Engine 5, and from there, like, I learned everything most on my own itself. So it's not that I'm not saying you guys to not join an institution. If you join an institution, it will be helpful to you, yes. But if you don't join the institution as well, I'm saying that you can do it on your own. I've did it by myself, so I'm a prime example. If you can take it, just keep on applying more and more, and one of those applications will hit and you will definitely get the job. Just keep improving your skills, just keep adapting to the new stuff which are coming, like the Unreal Engine versions definitely will keep on getting better and better. And try to, one more thing is, try to keep up with the current trends, like maybe watch YouTube channels which explain about the games which are going, what's happening in the gaming market currently. And also there are gaming conferences which you can attend, like in India there's an thing called as IGDC which takes place once every year. Currently this year it takes place in November 5, 6, 7, yes. So you can go to those, get knowledge from them, and try to implement it on your own games. The only difference which I find is that when you go to gaming institutions, like you will have the opportunity to get campus placements through the college itself to gaming companies, right, who specifically design games. But if you are doing a different course, or you're not doing any course at all, you don't have that flexibility. So to the people who are like that, I would suggest that is maybe in like when your college is about to end, maybe like 1 year before it ends itself, start applying to jobs. Make your portfolio much better, adapt to the oncoming trends, and yeah, you'll also make it one day like me. And if you guys have any questions regarding my experience or anything general which is related to game designing or game development, you can ask it to me in the comments. I'll try to reply to all the comments as the best I can. If I can't, and if there are too many of those questions, I'll make a separate video for the questions itself again, and I'll be answering all the questions. And apart from that, since I'm officially coming back to YouTube, this is the only game design / development content which I'll be posting. I just wanted to share this because I had a really tough year trying to find a job in game designing and game development sector. And because of that, since I landed a job now, I thought it would be better for me to share my experience, so it will be helpful for others who are trying to get into the same thing. So yeah, here you go. And moving on forward, so in my YouTube channel I'll be making streaming games, playing games, trying to entertain myself, entertain you people with the content I make. So hopefully you guys will appreciate that and keep supporting me. Thank you. I wish you best in your best for approaching your dreams and making them successful. Bye bye.